Diving into the open worlds of the Grand Theft Auto titles has been a popular pastime for gamers since their first release all the way back in 1998, and throughout each one of their 16 titles, they improved in each one. Just a few days ago, Rockstar Games, the company behind the franchise, released a statement claiming that they'll be releasing their debut trailer for the long-awaited, upcoming new Grand Theft Auto game. With the world being the buzz right now about this, it's understandable why smaller gaming companies try to jump on a bandwagon and create their own version of the GTA games. Titles such as Saints Row or the Mafia franchise may have been considered copycats, but they took things in their own direction, separating themselves from the stereotype. But there are some companies out there who just plain ripped off the GTA titles. Welcome to the video. You're listening to Phil of Philby Gaming, and today I've put together a list for you guys in which we take a look at several different titles that are clearly cheap clones of any of the Grand Theft Auto games. If you enjoy what you see, you all know what to do, and if you're new here and not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so, as it's absolutely free. With that being said, let's get straight into our list. Let's start things off with a game called Grand Gang City, Los Angeles. The first thing you'll notice is the opening menu. The 4 gang members dressed in green are a direct clone of the Grove Street Family's gang from GTA San Andreas. After the short introduction screen, where we're introduced to our protagonist, John Carson, or CJ if you will, we're straight into the action. Taking cover from behind a vehicle, players will instantly recognise this as a replica of Grove Street. The Ganton Bridge is there, and to the left are the homes of Ryder and CJ respectively. To progress onto the next level is to take down all of the creepers, which aside from the gang's colour change, are Grove Street's sworn enemy, the Ballers. The mission itself takes heavy inspiration from the house party quest of San Andreas, where the gang must defend their hood from the attacking foes. After defeating all of the enemies, the player can use the in-game map to take control of the next area, which you'll notice is the exact same map from San Andreas 2. You can also recruit fellow gang members to fight by your side, just like the Rockstar Games title. Next up, we have Miami Crime Simulator 2. The loading screen character, with his short brown hair and sporting a blue Hawaiian shirt and jeans, is an obvious parody to GTA Vice City's protagonist Tommy Vercetti, portrayed brilliantly by deceased legendary Goodfellas actor Ray Liotta. Even continuing with the loading screen, the backdrop, featuring brightly lit neon-signed hotels, is a mirror image of Ocean Drive, where Tommy first resides when he arrives in Vice City. When playing, you'll notice the vehicles have a very similar revving sound to that of its real counterpart. The city itself is very identical, from the building structures to the canal systems and even the lengthy Vice City beach that lays to the eastern region of the map. The ability to collect cash and weapons from fallen enemies is also in the game, something of which has been found in Grand Theft Auto titles for some time now. The game does feature an open world aspect, which is something at least, and the vehicles do have an in-game radio system, so it seems like Miami Crime Simulator 2 had at least tried. For number 3, we have Auto Theft Gangsters. Even though the opening sequence looks like a modernised Vice City, it introduces itself as Liberty City, with its slogan stating that it's a city of intrigue and desire. This of course is a reference to GTA 4, where players stepped into the boots of Niko Bellic, an Eastern European immigrant hoping to make a new life for himself in the new country. After selecting one of the few playable characters to choose from, the player is thrown straight into the action. It feels a lot more arcadey than that of the Grand Theft Auto titles, so at least it can say it tried to do things a little differently, but then it goes and spoils itself by having an in-game purchase system, basically another pay-to-win cash grab. Boss battles are involved, which adds to the goofy but fun element of the title, and there are multiple challenges and missions that the player, alongside other gamers, can partake in. It seems that although it looks cheaply built and the gameplay itself isn't something that stands out, it's still fun enough to enjoy on its own, so why it needed to clone parts of Grand Theft Auto in certain aspects of the title doesn't make much sense. It never really needed to. Next today, we have one with an incredibly original game name, Clash of Crime Mad San Andreas. Even before we load the game up, we can tell from the title that it's a parody of Grand Theft Auto. In fairness, the gameplay aspects do look a lot better than the other games so far, looking like it's taken inspiration from the ragdoll physics of GTA 4. It also features a drive-by mechanic with a lock-on system which looks pretty good. The over-the-shoulder shooting aspect also nods towards the likes of GTA 4 too. On top of this, you'll notice that Clash of Crime features a wanted system very similar to GTA, but instead of using wanted stars, it uses a simple warning sign instead. Also, the minimap presented in the game is directly taken from its much more successful counterpart, with its circular outlines, its compass indicating which way is north, and the mission icons using a very similar font to that of the Grand Theft Auto titles. This game does feature interiors, which is something we wouldn't see too often in budget titles like this, including a pizzeria which bears a striking resemblance to the well-stacked pizza company from both GTA San Andreas and Vice City. Plus, on top of this, the pizzeria allows the player to partake in delivery side quests, another feature from the series. For number 5 today, we have Grab the Auto 5. Where to begin with this one? Aside from the title of the game sounding overly similar to 2013's Grand Theft Auto 5, the cover art during the loading screen uses the city of Los Santos as a backdrop, but more obvious is the character centered, a direct copy of Michael DeSanta, even wearing the shoulder bag used in the jewelry store heist mission. Beginning the gameplay is very off-putting. Firstly, the camera is way too close to the protagonist, and the movement is very robotic. Driving feels the same, and even the wheels of some vehicles look not only disproportionate to the car itself, but look like they're about to fall off. The physics are non-existent in parts, such as if you drive a vehicle through water or hit a lamppost, neither of which seem affected. Combat seems limited too, as the player can only seem to throw a right overhand at his opponent. You'll also spend a lot of time waiting for the world to render in, making vehicles spawn randomly in your direct path. Next today, we have Real Auto Crime Simulator 3D. Once again, starting at the loading screen, we have a cartoonish forefront which lays on top of what looks like a real-world photograph of a city, although I'm unsure which one. For the second time today, we have a game that's using the character of Vice City's Tommy Vercetti as an attention grab, something of which seems a common occurrence in these titles. First tasked with killing a crime family, the protagonist is set free in the world. Although the game does have a mini-map, it wants to guide you by placing a directional blue arrow above your head, something of which is very difficult to navigate from, as you basically can't see which way it's pointing. The playable character seems to be running, but getting nowhere fast, and every time you hit the jump button, he screams "Go!" for whatever reason. The camera angles are difficult to work with, and the player just seems to be floating more than being on the ground. He also looks significantly taller than the in-game vehicles, just very disproportionate. Lastly, some of the NPCs of the game are taken directly from games like San Andreas, such as the Los Aztecas and T-Bone Mendez. At least some of the other games try to do things their own way, where Real Auto Crime Simulator 3D just looks to be a failed copy and paste job. Lastly today, we're looking at Gangster War Mafia Hero. At the opening screen, does our hero look familiar to anyone? If so, you may recognise him as one of the character models of the Vargos, a rivaling faction of Grove Street in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Firstly opening up, we appear to be on top of a large building in a replica of Southeast Los Santos. Unsure of how to get down, I was taken by surprise to learn that the character had a web sling feature, taken directly from the Spider-Man franchise. The game controls didn't seem too bad, especially compared to the last one we looked at, and he seemed to have one hell of a strong kick on him, although I'm unsure on why his left arm insisted on sticking through the door of the vehicle. Similar to its GTA counterpart, this title too features a minimap indicating direction and showing helpful location icons in the game. Unfortunately, given that it had the potential to be a little different, the bugs of this title are very off-putting, such as the way the character's hands position themselves when firing a weapon. All in all, this video was just a little fun for you all. I'm not much of a mobile gamer myself, but if these developers want to try and get their games out on the market and be successful, best of luck to them. Some of them really have put time into their work, no doubt, and of course, budget or time restraints may not allow them to produce titles on a similar scale to that of AAA games, but then again, some of them just don't even try. If you guys enjoyed today's video and wish to see a second take with an entirely new set of titles, be sure to let me know in the comment section provided. Also, just a few days prior to making this, I launched a second non-gaming channel in which I'll be covering real-life crimes from all over the world. If that's something you're into, be sure to check out Shocking True Crimes, which you'll find linked in the video description. If you wish to get in touch, you can find me over on Instagram, which you'll see both on screen as well as linked below too. Thank you all for watching, you've been listening to Phil, and I'll see you in the next one.